We're catching up with Grip Games here in the Microsoft lobby bar at GDC to find out a little bit more about a upcoming console release of Tower of Guns. First of all, how did you get involved with this indie project that's been brewing for a while?
Yeah, we are working on indie games for like the past year. We've published several indie games, the most recent being Unmechanical Extended. And we got introduced to this great guy named Joe Mirabello, who's like the one-man team called Terrible Posture Games. And he has this fantastic Tower of Guns game, which is like a rogue, elite, first-person shooter. And since we didn't have any first-person shooter in our portfolio, we were like, yeah, let's do this game because it's fun, it looks great, it fits the consoles really great. So we got in contact and we made a game for consoles.
So what has the transitions to console been like, and what things you have to sort of consider compared to the Steam release?
One thing is the game can get incredibly insane. You can have hundreds of projectiles flying at you, shrapnels, pixels just flying everywhere, and it eats away the CPU power quite a lot. So on PC, you don't really have to worry that much about CPU power because people are used to upgrading their stuff. So on consoles, we had to do a lot of optimizations so that the game really fits the consoles without compromising any of the gameplay. So we're actually very proud that the game looks and plays exactly the same as if you turn it on a high-end rig on PC. It plays great. Even on PS3, it works well, and on the PS3, on the PS4 and Xbox One, it runs just excellently. It's an Unreal Engine 3 game, so that has helped a lot as well. It just looks great, and it's a really smooth experience to play. And on the new consoles, it runs at full HD, 60 frames per second. So it's actually quite a rare experience to have that even on the new consoles. So I think we are definitely bringing something interesting to the players.
What's the rollout plan with the different versions? Are all the console versions hitting at the same time?
Yeah, we are releasing on Xbox One, PS4 and PS3 simultaneously. It's going to be released in April. We don't have the precise date yet. We will be announcing it really soon. It's going to be released digitally on those platforms, but also we are working with a partner company, Sodesco, and they are releasing Tower of Guns in retail. At more or less the same time as digitally, probably in late April or beginning of May. So anyone who wants to purchase the game physically can do so as well. But all the platforms will be released simultaneously.
Is that something you want to do with your releases? Because it's quite rare to see indie titles get the boxed release.
Yeah, with a first-person shooter, that's a game that has a super wide appeal on consoles. Everybody plays first-person shooters. So we thought the retail release is like a cool way to introduce the game to people who ordinarily don't go online, who don't buy digital game either because they don't want to, or maybe because they are not so much embedded into the community, don't follow the news, but they want to go to Game or any other retailer and sort of just pick the game they like, bring it home and play it, or give it to someone as a present. It's like a next step, sort of like widening the appeal of the game, widening the audience. So if someone prefers retail, prefers discs, prefers manuals and boxes, they can have this with Tower of Guns.
So looking ahead, this is quite soon that we're going to see this. Is this something that you continue with Grip Games to find out these indie developers and sort of take their work to, or what's the strategy? And what do you want to go in the future?
Yeah, exactly. In the past year, we've made a lot of contacts in the indie community, and we are working with quite a lot of developers who have cool PC games or mobile games, but don't really want to get to consoles themselves, or don't want to go through that, technically difficult bureaucratic process. So we work with them. We take care of the porting of those games and release it on consoles. First such a game was Unmechanical Extended. That was released just a month ago on Xbox One and PS4. Tower of Guns is the next game we're publishing. And we have a few more games. None of them are announced at the moment. We are actually doing an announcement next week at the EGX in London. There will be announcing another cool, really well-known indie game from PC that we are bringing to the PSN and XBLA, and we'll basically continue doing that over the whole year. We have a really great portfolio of super cool titles that would otherwise never make it to the consoles, but we sort of contacted developers and just kind of like each other. That's the most important stuff. When you're working with small teams, 1, 2, 3 kind of guys, just to make ourselves compatible with them. That's what I think really makes us special for some of those guys, because obviously what we do is not super unique. There are studios who do publishing on consoles and work with indie developers. But I think we have indie roots. We were making around indie games for like 5 years. We have released tons of games for PS3, even PSP. So we know what it is like to be indie. We've been there. So I think we're just really compatible with these guys, and that's why we have such a great success in bringing those games to consoles.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for being here.